This is Cherry Divine. I want to look at something that's caught my attention a lot lately, and it has caught my attention off and on all throughout the years, and that is the ego. The ego and mankind's choice of disengaging from it or moving past it. I want to start this out first by reading our definition or a couple of definitions of the ego from the dictionary. One, your ego is your conscious mind, the part of your identity that you consider yourself. Strictly speaking, it is only a psychological term popularized by Freud, meaning the conscious as opposed to the unconscious mind, or the awareness of one's own identity and existence. The self, especially as contrasted with another self or the world. Then my understanding of it, and this you won't find in a dictionary, I don't think, but for me, the ego is the personality that was chosen to be in existence within this or any other physical world. Why is this important? One of the things that was brought to my attention many, many years ago is mankind's denial of the self, as if we're to move past this idea of self, this personality, as if there's something wrong with it, that somehow it's imperfect. It's my understanding, and the understanding from those that are sent down to bring messages to us, that this idea of self, no matter what terminology that you give it, is as important as any aspect of life. It is a chosen identity for certain experiences. Is it an illusion? Is it a myth? Is it a dream? All of the above. Yet it is a dream, a myth, an illusion of the whole, the grand whole. Many look at this as a separation from the idea of the divine spirit, God, essence of life, whatever terminology you choose to use. And in truth, it is a very fully connected aspect of life to the divine, to the God, to the all that is. You notice we keep changing it up as to what it's called. For one thing, our identifying of it is not necessarily the whole or complete force of life. Yet it is completely important to understand that this self is as important as any self that has ever existed or will exist, that it is firmly connected to the aspect of God. God, again, is the mankind's terminology of the whole of life. It is not a complete descriptive aspect, yet it is what can be comprehended by the mind of man. We have asked each and every one to see the importance of this personality, this ego, this physical self and experience. First of all, in a physical world, it is necessary to have this so that you can experience the ideas of emotion, of contrast, of what you call dark and light, black and white, good and bad, evil and divine. Yet it does not necessarily complete the whole of all of life itself. Yet it is a true experiencing, an experiencing that is to be embraced, not an experiencing that is to be disregarded. Of course, you can look at and say, she is coming from that place of ego and must have this huge mind to understand this. Yet, each and every being on this world, in this planetary aspect, comes from what they call their ego, the personality of who it is they chose to be in this particular lifetime. And it is to continue to understand that. It does not make one more right than the other, one wrong and one right. It only means that each being is bringing in a piece of the puzzle of the whole, adding what it is that is to be connected and understood. Mankind in many times has come with the idea of diffusing from the idea of the physical identity, this what is now termed personality, ego, the self. Yet, what if mankind looked at this particular time as a time to come in and connect the essence, the aspect of life that is not connected to the physical world at an emotional level, but at the heart level of all life, with this physical self, and instead of denying the importance of the self, combines with and adds to the physical experience? Would this not be a more complete picture? It is only something to ask yourself. We are not saying that you must regard ours as the full truth, because of course ours is not the full truth any more than anyone else's is the full truth. It is all a piece added to the whole, one no more right than the other. And again, we did say that in that particular way, and it's necessary. Yet, if you embrace the whole of you, instead of disregarding or trying to discard aspects of the self, would it not be a more plentiful, a more loving, a more full experience of life? It is not necessary that you do this, and again, it is not necessary that you follow our words or our beliefs. It is always up to you. Whenever you are in the presence of any aspect that is claiming to have full information, ah, there again, there's your key right there, the claiming of full information. Not in this physical life at this particular time. Full information lives within each and every form of life, yet it is accessing it yourself in many ways. You may be drawn to something that triggers your own awareness, your own truth, your own piece of the puzzle, and access it, allowing you to embrace more fully you. Now, see, this is the thing. Automatically, that becomes this idea, oh, embrace the full you. Ah, what a place of ego. Yet, if you remember, you're a connection to the whole that none are actually disconnected or separate from. As you embrace the whole of you, you embrace the whole of life. We would like you to start practicing loving the self fully and divinely. Practice engaging in the self and understanding. It is not saying that you have to live within the conscious mind only. It's allowing the conscious mind to be a piece of this particular life. Allow the conscious to fully connect with the essence. Dearest children of Earth, you have never, ever been disconnected from the divine life force. There is no chosen life that you have ever had that is in imperfection. Each experience that you have, each experience that you chose, is a form of perfection. It is to be embraced and loved. There is so much going on that is not understood or understood, by man. Yet when you reach into the depths of your beingness, you access what lives inside of you, and that is the fuller information of life. Do not disregard who you are today, for the who of who you are today is as loud as the who you were many lifetimes ago, or the lifetimes that are in the future. All times one, so all are living at the same time. Embrace the whole, and then you embrace life. We would like to thank you for joining us. Yes, there are times we stumble on the words. Mankind's language is very limiting, yet it allows us to convey a message. And that message is to love all of life. The conscious mind, the subconscious, the super subconscious, and all other terminologies you add or address it as. For we love you in all of your forms. We are you and you are we. And thank you for joining me today. It just felt like it was something to share with the world. So now it's shared. Go ahead and share your truth. Your truth is as important as my truth. I got to click this off.